It's official! The wall is coming whether you like it or not. That's right, the wall between the haves and the have-nots. The wall between the good and the bad. The wall between the elitists and the plebs. Of course, we're talking about the wall between Marvel and DC because if you thought Big Daddy Marvel was just gonna lay back and let games like Injustice walk all over their territory, well, you're dead wrong. And this might just be a taste of what's to come.
Here we go!
For years now, Marvel, and okay, we're talking real Marvel here, not X-Men or Spider-Man Marvel, although that's all kind of up in the air now because of that deal that Disney struck with Sony for the rights to this character. Sorry, even I'm confused. Sometimes. Real Marvel, you know, the Avengers Marvel, that hasn't really dipped its golden trusted feet back into the video game pool for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you count mobile games, which we don't, because only girls play mobile games. And unless you count the failed policies and experiments of Disney Infinity, which was essentially just 5-year-olds and 30-year-old children collecting figurines and putting them in a virtual sandbox to play with.
If you
I don't
count those,
count that either.
No one does. Anyways, that all changes now. You see, aside from all the mobile games and Disney Infinity bullshit, Marvel still had one big successful monster going for it. Marvel vs. Capcom, which was huge in the competitive esports circuit. Gigantic tournaments like EVO kept these games alive because of their mass appeal to e-pros and e-bros alike. Sadly, the last Marvel vs. Capcom game came out all the way back in 2012. And that one doesn't really count either, so the last real Marvel vs. Capcom game technically came out in 2011. And guess what? No Marvel vs. Capcom at EVO this year either. The game is dead. Bury it. That's a DC reference.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
But just this morning, fanboys and fangirls from this great nation awoke to Marvel's big announcement. One that movie bloggers woke up at unreasonable hours to cover, only to be completely disappointed when they found out that it was just about a game.
Yeah.
Marvel is back in the gaming business, and they've partnered with a company that we should have seen coming a mile away. Square Enix. Now, why Square Enix, you might ask? Well, Marvel's owned by Disney, and the greatest Disney game ever created is Kingdom Hearts.
Undeniable.
Look it up. Kingdom Hearts is published by Square Enix. Square Enix also publishes a little game called Final Fantasy as well. The latest one revolves around getting sexy haircuts with your gay friends and then jerking each other off in your cool car while monsters battle themselves in the background. I think.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what
True.
it is. So will this new Marvel game be a gay fantasy starring the Avengers?
Hopefully.
Probably not. And that's because the actual developers behind it, Crystal Dynamics, which doesn't sound like a game company at all, sounds like some kind of weird mining company. Them and Eidos, is it Eidos?
Eidos.
Anyways, Eidos, whatever, Montreal, they're responsible for games like Deus Ex and Tomb Raider, and they're responsible for this game. So while it's obviously way too early to tell exactly what the hell this game is going to look like, we could safely assume that it's probably going to be a third-person action-adventure title. But in the teaser trailer, we see some familiar Avengers imagery, so the potential for online multiplayer, whether it's simply co-op or actual PvP, is high. But let's just play the old fun speculation game here for a second.
Speculation hat on.
Yeah, remember that game Evolve?
No.
Of course you don't.
No.
But it was a multiplayer co-op game where 4 players would go against a monster, which was also controlled by a real human.
Asymmetrical.
It was a cool concept that failed to gain traction. Bringing the Marvel universe into something like that could actually be kind of interesting. Yeah.
Okay. But on the other side of the coin, they have plenty of villains to work with as well, so it could just be a straightforward storyline game, or it could have all-out PvP. Either way, it's cool to see Marvel get back into this arena, and we hope that whatever they're cooking up over in that big old kitchen is gonna be as good as their cinematic universe, because gaming needs it.
Yeah.
Well, we're off to cash our Marvel checks. Fuck DC and goodbye, suckers. All right, just kidding.
We
We're
got stuck
staying
here,
right here because we get to talk about one of our favorite topics in gaming, sex.
Yeah.
Whoa. Sexy sex. And
Yeah.
you can bet that we're probably about to talk about, guess which country? Japan. You're right.
Well, that's right. Actually, we have no idea, though, if this game, Lady Killer in a Bind, is actually Japanese or just someone's weird hentai fantasy played out on screen. But we know one thing is for sure. This game went a little too hard for its clientele and wasn't prepackaged with a safe word.
Uh-oh.
So, Here's the description of the game from some hentai fan site called Kotaku. You play as a woman impersonating her brother on a school cruise. There's a contest going on. Whoever gets the most votes will receive a heap of cash. This conflict ends up feeling largely secondary to the main interactions you have with many characters, which often focus more on sex and power dynamics. So, that hentai fan blog, Kotaku, they also claim that this game's alternative title is My Twin Brother Made Me Cross-Dress as Him, and now I have to deal with a geeky stalker and a dom beauty who want me in a bind.
Wait, is she having sex with girls or boys?
I think the confusion comes in with the fact that it's a woman playing a man, so it's a girl cross-dressing as a man.
Does she like just carry around a dildo with her at all times in case she needs to have sex?
I don't know. I didn't play the game.
No,
I just
like
read the article, yeah.
Anyway, so either that's a case of alternative facts or the worst translation of an already English title that we've ever heard.
Yes.
But let's move on. With all the recent hullabaloo about 50 Shades of Grey and all the middle-aged women frothing at their dry old gash for stuff like this, it's sure to be a hit, right? But there's one thing this game was missing in one of its BDSM scenarios. Consent.
Consent!
Now, despite the fact that this game is a fantasy and that the dev is a woman, and that the scene in question was supposed to be a power exchange, they had to remove it because of player feedback. Basically, the president of a company uses his position over the protagonist to coerce you into giving them a blowjob. It happens every day.
It's part of every HR manual. You don't do that. Apparently, the actual line before the blowjob is, "Let me hear you say yes. Come on, where's that enthusiastic consent?"
What?
That's true.
Does she give the enthusiastic consent?
She begrudgingly gives the blowjob.
Oh.
But
it sounds like a yes.
It's begrudgingly, but she seems sort of turned on by it. I don't know. You have to play the game
like this or like this? 'Cause that's how you can tell.
I don't know. What kind of move is this? Is this yes or
That's
no?
a nod.
Yeah.
So you're all good. Don't quote me on that.
This show is not to be taken seriously. Anyways, here's what the dev said about the choice to remove it. The original goal of the scene was to demonstrate a darker, certainly not safe in real life fantasy to contrast with the safety of the beauty's arc. But even after multiple revisions, clearly a lot of players were extremely uncomfortable with its presence and still ended up being blindsided. I think I failed to account for the player's context, and I'd rather the scene be gone than make anyone else uncomfortable. So, whatever. Her choice. But it just goes to show that it's not just men out there who are fulfilling their weird sexual perversions when creating games. At least the girls in Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball are programmed to enjoy wearing their bikinis as they run around on the beach.
But not in the VR version. They get very
they get upset in the VR version.
Why are you touching me?
Yeah,
you
this
creep?
is
you fucking weeb.
Yeah, they went for realism in that one.
But enough of the heavy stuff that actually makes us depressed for society. Let's get back into the fluff.
Yeah.
Because if you like Call of Duty, and also like smoking weed, and also like going to raves, not only are you a marketing person's wet dream, a consensual wet dream, you're also going to love the new COD DLC. Because when it drops next week, not only are the remaining 200 people left playing this game going to get some new multiplayer maps, but you're also getting a new zombies mode called Rave in the Redwoods, where the only thing you're going to have to worry about more than being eaten alive by the undead is making sure that your internal body temperature doesn't exceed safe levels while you're tripping balls on ecstasy.
Yes.
But don't worry, if you do start having a seizure because you forgot to drink water and your friends are too busy grinding ass to see that you're foaming at the mouth, Kevin Smith might just pop in and save you.
Yeah.
Yep, Silent Bob's in this game. And here's the official description.
After escaping the terrifying zombies in Spaceland, our heroes are transported to an abandoned campground, the perfect site for Willard Wyler's next horror masterpiece.
Who?
Set in the 90s. Ow! Woo! The four actors find themselves in brand new roles, along with some fresh new threads. Together, they'll team up to take on endless hordes of raver zombies and the mysterious slasher, who's on the prowl to add more trophies to his collection. With the help of some brutal new weapons and even director Kevin Smith, our heroes just might be able to put an end to the madness in the Redwoods. And by the way, yes, in the promotional image, the zombies in this game are wearing candy.
I was about to ask, does finding your own candy like power you up?
Yeah, you have to trade candy with the zombies.
Yeah, you reunite with the other
players. And then
players.
you do the plur, you do the whole plur handshake, and then you decide who wants to die because
you have to drink water every like 3 minutes or you
overdose, and then if you give the zombies ecstasy and then you're on ecstasy, then you guys just kind of like hug it out. You get in your little cuddle puddle, and everyone's having a good time. You got Avicii up there doing the took a bell and a breeze, show Avicii I was cool. And you know what he said? He said, "Look at that guy over there. That guy's the coolest guy in the room."
I'm on board with this, actually.
Yeah.
I might just get back into COD.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure all you COD fanboys, all three of you, will let us know how much fun you have at the Electric Dead Carnival. But let's face it, zombies just aren't scary anymore.
No.
The genre has been watered down. Now, luckily, we have horror expert and ethical games reviewer Shibby on staff, and ready to let you know about the latest releases in horror gaming and whether or not you should drop your hard-earned cha-ching on this new title. Go for it, Shibber.
Tugs boys and Tugs girls.
Look like a hot dog with mustard and relish on it.
Thanks. This week we explore a brand new game title with a memorable location filled with rubbish, muck monsters lurking in every corner, and of course,
Muff monsters.
white people. No, viewer, I'm not talking about the kennel where these guys keep me, the state of Florida, or the White House. I'm of course talking about Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Now, I must give credit to Capcom for bringing the series to the superior first-person perspective, or in marketing terms, the isolated view. For whatever reason, Capcom thinks this isolated view is something new and visceral, so I must blame the console plebs out there. Yes, you, Scott in Texas. You are just too used to the pussy boy third-person perspective. For a 10-hour game, I do feel $60 is a steep price when the only replay value is on a harder difficulty where enemy units take 20 bullets to the head instead of 5. To me, harder difficulty means more mechanically interesting, such as damage to both you, the character you deal, or as the character you deal, but also the damage you take. The Madhouse difficulty, the highest in this game, is not hard. It's just tedious and annoying. Speaking of annoying, other than a few shibby haters in the comments, who, by the way, I will be throwing over the wall once I am elected as Secretary of Gaming Ethics.
Yeah.
The item management in this game is tedious. Sure, you have to be selective with ammo or the items you pick up, fine. But the storage crate locations, there's just too much running back and forth, which does not add challenge to the game, it's just simple annoyance. I understand that every bullet counts. However, like No Man's Sky, it's more managing inventory than actually playing the game and having a cohesive experience. Constantly backtracking through a massive house is just disappointing. Look, this game is good enough for many of you out there, but as your Secretary of Gaming Ethics, I see through it like an empty email server. Capcom edited out pieces of the story and sacrificed a stronger ending to create DLC for you to purchase to get a complete product. Overall, I once again commend Capcom for what they did with the PSVR, PlayStation VR. However, the current retail price, and in my opinion, weak replay value, I would wait for a future discounted bundle, and I must give Resident Evil 7 a score of 1 out of 2 hillbillies.
Yeah, that's a 5 out of 10.
Whoa.
But the question remains, is it scary? I've seen people freaking out about it online.
Pretty good motion sickness.
Yeah, apparently that too. I don't know.
Not even VR.
I wouldn't even do the VR. I can't stand the VR horror games. They're too scary.
I'll do it.
Yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna put Elliot in for the first episode on ETC
Party
Party Time. Go subscribe to that channel. It's in the description below. We're not gonna fucking put anything on there until we get our silver play button. We should be the first. No, fuck that. We're doing that. Go subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. We want to be the first channel on YouTube that gets a silver play button for doing jack shit.
I think PewDiePie already did that.
That channel had a video though, right?
Did it?
You might have.
Too.
And we're not talking about gold. We'll never get a gold play
silver
button.
comes before the gold.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways.
Anyway, hey, by the way, speaking of aggressive blowjobs, were we? Remember how the cover of Resident Evil 6 literally looked like a giraffe getting its dick sucked? What a great moment in the history of that franchise.
Yep. Anyways, we have some episodes that you need to watch. We have a new episode of Tech Tuesday and an episode where we talk about the nominees for the Razzies, which are the worst in movies of the past year.
Terrible.
Please go to etcmerch.com and buy yourself an Ethical Games Journalist shirt because you need to let everyone know just how ethical you are.
Yeah, they can trust you with the free review copies of those games.
Yeah, they'll see that shirt and they'll start tossing them at you. All right, bye.
Bye.